First of all, what's the latest team news ahead of Wolves on Sunday?
Yeah, we know about Jack Stevens, that he's out for longer now. That's a pity. Theo Walcott was back in training today for the first time since a long time, I think. And the rest, yeah, is so far fit. Stewie is still not available, and that's it.
How close are Theo Walcott and Stuart Armstrong?
Yeah, Stewie is not in training from the group, and Theo was, yeah, this week starting with being part of the team sessions, and yeah, it will also take time until he's on the level to help us. But it's important to have him back, and important to give him training sessions with the team.
You're still without a win in your first 5 Premier League games. Why isn't it clicking in the final third?
Yeah, it's right that we had the last 2 games haven't scored. This is right. To be honest, we had in both games our chances, and the last game a big one with the penalty, what was not given in the end. I definitely must say that our game to the box was fantastic against Man City. I think we have 12, 13 scenes shown the players where we normally can score or where we have a chance to do something more that we have done. And this was definitely something we want to improve. We did it in the cup, and we know that we can score goals. But after the last season, the main target was definitely our defense work. And this is important for me, that it looks that we have found a way to defend that gives us more stability and more chances on having clean sheets. And this is, in the moment, the more important part, yes.
And finally from me, after those positive results against Manchester City and Sheffield United, what have you made of Wolves after analysing their opening games in the Premier League?
Yeah, they have a new manager, unchanged squad with a lot of quality still, and also the way they want to play football is not changed at the last year. I think they tried very similar, and yeah, with all the automatism they have, with all the quality they have, they are always a very hard to play team against, and this is what we need to know. We know that we need the right skills in the right moments, and then you have a good chance for, yeah, taking the first win. But we know that we had some tough home games against them. The last 2 we lost after being two goals up, and this was very disappointing for us. But it's far away, in the past, and I think we should concentrate on our situation we are in the moment. We have a new squad. We have, I think, a good mentality in the moment. We have a lot of young players. They are really pushing hard to play and to give us their qualities on the pitch. And it's a very enjoyable moment to me to work with this team. And hopefully we can be so strong that we find our first win. I think we have also always a few things missing. When everything comes together, then it's a perfect situation, hopefully on the weekend, yes.
Thanks, Ralph, and good luck at the weekend.
Thank you. Okay, so Paul at PLP.
Ralph, hope you're well. You mentioned the last 2 home games against Wolves, losing the lead. And I know you had a sort of similar situation against Sheffield United, Manchester United, Everton this season, but have you seen progress as far as game management goes? When you go ahead, are you now better placed to keep hold of leads?
Yeah, we are speaking still about teams or games in the Premier League, and we were often speaking about dropping points and winning positions. You only come to the situation that you can drop points in winning position when you go in a winning position. So you should have done something right in the beginning. What is different this season is definitely they have more quality on the bench. They can definitely make changes a little bit earlier, and that gives me more alternatives for changing a game plan for whatever. And this is what is helpful. Definitely, we have in total more quality this season in the squad. You can see it in every session. It's important that we have no long-term injuries. It's a pity that Czech is now out because he was an important player for me. We lose him now, and we will have the situations over the whole season, and we must find as quick as possible the right alternative. And and to keep on going on the highest level, because a Premier League game to win is always a very tough job. And we know that we can do this, and we want to start on the weekend.
I know last season started later because of COVID and all of that sort of thing, but on the 26th of September last year, you started a run of where you took something like 23 points from 10 games. You play Wolves this year on the 26th of September. I wonder if you could compare where you are now to where you were this time last year, and you went on that fantastic run.
It's hard to compare. We had a completely different pre-season. We had only a short break after a very good period after lockdown, where we continued playing well in the whole October, November, December. It was sure our strongest time last season. But the Premier League is a long run. You know, it's such a long time where you have to perform on the highest level. I must say that I'm very happy about how compact we are in the moment, and I can see that we have definitely the quality improved this season. The signings are good. The young lads are fantastic for the team. They give us a new mentality, and I enjoy working with the team. That doesn't mean that we don't have to work hard or learn a lot, but it's enjoyable to do this with these guys. And we know that we have 38 games, a whole season. In the end, we want to be in a good position, but important is that you take points continuously, and this is the goal for us. And the schedule is tough, like always, against Man City. The point, and even more as was possible, is something nobody expected from us, I think, and gives ourselves a lot of confidence, because we have shown that we can defend such a team that scored in the 3 games before our game 15 or 16 goals. So this gives you self-confidence, but it should lead to the situation that you are confident but not leaning back, that you stay motivated and focused in front. We need to first win, and this is the goal for the weekend.
You said that Wolves haven't changed much since last season because it's still very early days for the new manager, but Bruno Lage, when he was at Benfica, he had a fantastic record, and his team was sort of described as having a high pressing game, looking to win the ball high up the pitch and sort of not allowing opponents time to breathe. That sounds rather similar to your ethos from what you've seen of him in his time at Benfica. Do you recognise a similar style?
I think especially against the ball, they are good organized. I haven't seen them so often so high pressing, to be honest. But you need also the players to do this. When you feel that there are some other qualities and you want to have the ball in a little bit deeper, then you do this. I think he's an experienced coach. He knows what he has to do. Premier League is always tough for everybody, especially for the new coaches when they're coming in. A lot of different football cultures are meeting each other here, and that means you have to be flexible as a manager. And I'm sure he will find this first season very, very interesting for him to watch every different team. Every team is new for him, and it's tactical, very interesting. It's interesting, the first season in the Premier League.
I just have one more that's going to be of no interest to anyone else, but Glenn Hoddle is in our studio at the weekend because he was manager of Southampton and Wolves, and I wondered if you could think back to when you were had 2 weeks with him at Chelsea, and what that was like, whether you've never wanted to speak to him again after he didn't give you a contract, or
no.
What was it like?
Does he remember this, that I was there once?
I'm sure he does.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. I was not such a big number, to be honest. So absolutely understandable that he didn't sign me, to be honest. From the qualities I had, I don't know. I would really have liked to play in the Premier League, definitely. And if he has told me at that time that I will return one time as a manager in a Premier League club, I would think he was a little bit crazy. So, and I did it, and this is fantastic because I always loved the English football, and to be here as a manager, I can definitely accept that I wasn't good enough as a player. It's even better when I'm good enough as a manager to be here.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Ralph, and very best of luck on Sunday.
Good luck.
Thanks, Paul. We'll do Adam at Radio Solent. Ralph, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Well done on Tuesday night, getting through the cup. Could have done with a nicer reward for getting through, but you got through. Let me start with Jack Stephens. You've mentioned his injury, but I don't know what it is, and I don't know how long you expect him to be missing for. So can you give us a bit more about what's wrong with Jack? Because he's had such a good start to the season.
Yeah. Very disappointing for him and for us. The good thing, or the positive thing, is the knee is okay. There's no knee injury, but the tendon from the hamstring that leads in the knee, that stabilizes the knee, is disrupted. And a tendon injury always takes long. So we will have a look. It's quite a serious injury. So that's the reason why we said 8, 10, 12 weeks. Depends how quick he's on healing, but it will definitely take a long time. Yeah.
It puts Lianco slightly further up the ladder towards playing in the Premier League, with you just another centre-back in the mix. How much did he learn about English football on Tuesday, and how much did you learn about him? Because he had a difficult start to his first game, I thought.
Yes, I think it was the perfect game for him to step in the team against the Championship club. He was exactly. I got what I expected to get. To be honest, in some moments he showed his qualities. In some moments he showed that he needs to adapt to the game here a little bit more. What is also normal for me. And in the end, we know what we have signed there, and we get him. We give him all the time he needs to get for developing himself. He does it in every session. He's a very good lad, good character. His English must improve a little bit. Also, this is for centre back very important, because you have to organize a little bit your surrounding and your players around you. And this is a time he will get, and important that he steps up quickly. He knows that the first game was not perfect for him, but this is, as I always say, a long-term project for me.
You've actually taken 4 points out of the 5 fixtures you've had. Equivalent fixtures last season, you only took 1 point from those same fixtures last season. And I know everyone's talking about not winning your first game, but I would say the season has been good in that regard, picking up points you didn't get last season. But so how important is it to beat Wolves on Sunday?
Yeah, you can see that with 1 point always you don't really make big steps forward. It's a pity that we had a big chance for winning against Man City. This would have been 3 extra points and a fantastic win. And then you are a little bit, I think, the pressure a little bit lower, but you have always pressure. So for us, it's important that we have always a chance to win, that we prepare as good as possible. And then it's not so important who the opponent is. When you see Man City, Man United, I mean, we had so far also very strong opponents and always took points. So this is good, definitely. Only 1 loss so far, but we want to turn things in the way that we also start winning now. This is important for us to get the feeling now that we are able to win again, and this is, I think, a good opportunity. But we know that the last 2 games at home we lost against this team, so we had a tough game with 90 minutes fully concentration.
Just finally from me, and I won't ask you about how you should have had 3 points last Saturday, because I don't want you to get fined for talking about the referee. But just finally on Adama Traore, I mean, he's terrorised you before at St Mary's. He's given you a tough time. How do you have to deal with him differently this time round to make sure he's not a threat?
Yeah, we have also played games against them where we controlled him quite well. And yes, everybody knows his qualities, and definitely it's a team job to do, not a single job. And when we do it as a team together very well, then we don't have to be scared of anybody here in this Premier League, because we have shown that we can compete against every team.
Lovely. Thank you, Ralph. Good luck Sunday.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we'll move on to the section embargoed for 10:30 this evening, and we'll start with Dan Sheldon at The Athletic.
Thank you, Jordan. Good afternoon, Ralph.
Afternoon.
Just on the winning there, you said you want to get the feeling of winning. And I've been impressed with the performances so far this season, following on from Everton. But at what point do you kind of sacrifice a good performance for a win? Or are they hand in hand all the time?
I also like to win games without a good performance. So, by the way, it doesn't have to be always a very good performance, but I think we showed in the last games, especially in our defense work, that we are very, very good organized. When you want to play a game where Man City has one shot on target, you have to do something right, otherwise it doesn't work. And I think it was one of our best games tactically after a very good week. I spoke about that. And we have to do it week by week now. When we have the chance to have clean sheets, I think the moment will come when we score again. I think we know that we can do especially the final bits better in the final third. And when we do this better, then we have absolutely the quality to score. And I must say that, especially with all the young new players we have in, we adapted very quickly, or they adapted very quickly to the game. And this is good to see. That means that they have quality. Tino, Adam, and this is good. Moy, not to forget, he's like a new signing and does a fantastic job under 10. And this is very good. Kyle on the left side immediately also played well against Man City. Roma is still a good opportunity also on this side. So this is good, definitely.
Does it, with the squad, you've mentioned all the new players, feel like an organic process in terms of getting them ready? Week on week they're improving, and it's almost a case of, well, the win will inevitably come because we are getting better. And just on that, are they ahead? Are your side ahead of the development where you thought they would be at this stage of the season in terms of how they've all settled in and taken to their roles?
I don't want to say that they're ahead. I expect, or I hope that they can help us immediately. This was the reason why we tried to sign them. That Tino is so quick on this level was a little bit surprising for me, but I wanted to give him the chance immediately because I saw the quality from the first session on, that he has to play on this side. And finally, the general quality in every session is a higher one. This is normal when you have a squad now with 22 players where you can trust to play in the beginning. Then it's automatically that the sessions have a better level than if you have 11 and 11 academy players. This is normal. Last season, you cannot prepare for a game when you don't get stressed from the opponent team, and when you feel everything is easy, then there's a bad woke up when the game on the weekend comes. So we need to have quality in the session during the week, and then we can adapt to the problems we have against the ball, with the ball. And this is much better this season. It makes my work a little bit easier. It's not easier to select the team because there are some tough decisions to take every week, but better to take these decisions toughly than to don't know who should play on what position ever. So it's important that we have more options this season.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you.
Okay, Tom Leach.
Hello, Ralph. How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you.
Good. Can I just ask firstly about Saints B and their run of results at the moment? I'll hold my hands up and say I've only watched them once this season against Burnley. But on paper, the run of results is obviously quite poor. Why is that? And how big a concern is that for you in that these young players are not winning games at the moment?
Yeah, it's a big concern because it shows that with players we had last season with us in the Premier League team, and they are even now struggling in the under 23. So that shows them how big the gap is in the moment of competing on a higher level. And we must be very clear that this is simply not the performance we want to see. And I think everybody has to work hard to get this issue sorted, because we have definitely a different expectation from our academy overall. And I think it's getting more and more difficult every year to sign players for the youth, good players. Very often they're going to bigger clubs now, and then it seems when they feel then that there's no way through, that then you have a chance to get them back. But then it's mostly for the immediately for the first team and not for the under 23. And this is the issue we have in a moment. To find good young players for the academy, it's getting more and more difficult. You have to take really a lot of money if you want to take this or if you want to do this. And very often you are second winner because there are bigger clubs going for them.
Is it a really complex problem to fix? getting wins at that level? Because like you were just saying then, you can only deal with the personnel that you've got. You can only play with the players that you've got. So in terms of spinning results and turning that into a win, is that something then that we have to wait until there's potentially fresh recruitment at that level? But then again, like you say, people like Tino coming in at his age, really, you'd have thought he'd be a 23s player, but he's already got the quality to step up, hasn't he?
Yeah. This is the reason why they are still costing a lot of money, although they are young players. But this is a money you can definitely invest, because you get a big reward for it, and you get a good player for it. But when you pay for a 14-year-old or 13, 14-year-old player, I don't know how much money. For us, this is very tough, very difficult. And for bigger clubs, that's easier. They take the best talents with 13, 14 years, and you have no chance to get them anymore. So what we can do, and this is what we have to do, I think, is to work with the players we have here to develop them quicker as possible, so as quick as possible. But even then, it is getting more and more difficult every year to create your own Premier League players, because the Premier League meanwhile has such a high level that not every young player can become a Premier League player. Have something special, and this is the reason why not everybody makes it to be a Premier League player. And this is why it's getting more every year more difficult for the academy, I think.
Okay, Ralph, brilliant. Thank you. Best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Okay, James St. Dennis.
Hi, Ralph.
Yeah, hello.
Could you just tell us a bit more about Tino Olivamento? He's done extremely well since joining from Chelsea in the summer, and he looks like he secured the right back position at just 18 years old. Could you just tell us about how impressed you've been with him, and what qualities does he bring to the squad?
Yeah, I mean, he has a physically very good package. He's tall, he's quick, he has a lot of speed. And this combination is perfect for this position, to be honest. There, he's also a good defensive quality, 1-against-1, and offensively also. And there are still some things to improve, especially his passing sometimes, or the final pass maybe. But he has the quality to do this, and the fundament is fantastic. And it's a very good player to work with.
And you're known for placing your trust in younger players of your squad. Could you just tell us why you place so much emphasis on youth?
I mean, for us, it's relatively difficult to sign big stars. For us, it's much better to sign the best young players in the country and give them a chance to play. And I think meanwhile, we have this image, and if you are good and if you're young and you don't go through in the top team you are training with, then you know where you have to go, because here you get immediately a chance to play. And this is I think the way we want to go, or this is the only alternative we have, I think, with our limits we have financially. And finally, we are successful with this way, I think. And I like to sign players when they sign their first or second contract and not their 10th or 11th or second last or last. So this is what I want. And when you have a good balance of experienced players and of young players with quality, it's up to us, the managers, the coaches, to learn them what we want to do. And when you have a small flower growing, then you have to take water on it and let it grow and give them time to grow and take care of this. Because when you do nothing, it will not develop and it will not shine one time as a beautiful big flower. And this is what we want to have, something we can show. And this is the way we are working here. And when we are also keeping our position in the league, this is a big challenge for us every year, but it is possible. We have shown this in the past. It's maybe not possible to be a European team, but possible to have a good finishing position in the league, and this is the goal for us.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you, Ralph. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Hi, Ralph. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear.
First of all, I know obviously your full focus will be on Wolves at the weekend, but there's obviously another big sporting event on the calendar going on this weekend in the Cup. Am I right in saying you've played with one of the rookies on the European team? Is it Bernd Wiesberger?
Yeah,
What was that like to spend some time with him and tap into the mentality of a different sportsman in a different field?
Yeah, super interesting, to be honest. We met the first time when I had a pro-am in Germany. I played with him. We had a good round together. And I think it was last weekend or 2 weekends ago where I watched him at Wentworth. Super relaxed guy. Was talking with him on the 17th tee, I think, and spoke with him in middle of all the people there in German, in Austrian. Nobody could understand what we are talking. But he's a super guy. He's a very cool guy, and fantastic for him to be part of this big tournament. And I really enjoy the Sunday because I think he will play there and then hopefully take some point for Europe. A very big event, fantastic to watch. I like the Ryder Cup. When I was 3 years without a job after I cancelled my contract in Leipzig, I was in Paris. I watched it live.
Oh, wow.
And it was a very enjoyable event for me, to be honest. I met Thomas Tuchel there also. We were both watching there, and it was good to see. A fantastic event, and I like to watch it. Yes.
I know it's different sports and different fields, but obviously, as a football manager, you're constantly making decisions and dealing with pressure. What's that like to go into that different field? And can you learn anything from people like that when obviously all eyes are on them and what they're doing in their field?
Yeah, it is. I think psychologically a very demanding job. Definitely, yeah. The power they have, the pressure they have is amazing. Yeah, when you where you have a 3-foot putt or something where it's about everything, then it's definitely you have to be in your absolutely balance. And yes, a lot of things you can definitely take. You dig into it. I also play golf myself, and I know how good you can switch off there, and because you must be fully concentrated on the sport when you want to play it. And this is the interesting part of this game, I think.
If I may ask one more, what's your golf game like?
Jordan, how is average? Sometimes higher average, sometimes lower average.
Perfect. Thanks, Ralph.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Alex Crook.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ralph. I wanted to ask about James Ward-Prowse. He's taking part in a Premier League match this weekend for the 101st game in a row, which is a current record for a player in the Premier League at the moment. What does that say about his character and also his physical attributes to be able to keep playing week in, week out? 99 of the 100 so far have been starts as well.
Yeah, and missed a minute, I think, so far. Huh? That doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to change him anymore, to sub him anymore. So I could do it if I want. And in the last 2 weeks, he was definitely struggling sometimes with his stomach. He has a little bit problems in the moment with his diet. Changed, and this is what we have to take care. That's the reason why I didn't start him against Sheffield during the week. But he's a very important player also because of his set pieces and his work he does for the club and for the team every day. Important player for us. When I was coming here, he was not even part of the squad here, and I also took him a few times in the beginning on the stands, and he was watching from outside. It was tough for him. But meanwhile, he transformed his game completely and showed how good he can be. And for Southampton, he's a perfect captain, and everybody loves him here.
And given that consistency, and you've mentioned there that his abilities from dead balls, does it surprise you that he's struggling to get in the England squad at this moment in time?
No, that's not my job to do to discuss decisions from whoever. When a player does a good job for 2 years, sure, he deserves to be in the international team. But England has a lot of very good players, and it's not always a decision against the player. It's sometimes a decision for somebody else who is also not so bad. And I mean, the success Gareth has gives him the right to say, yes, I did a good job with the selecting of the team. It's tough for Prowse not being part of, but keep on going. You never know. It goes sometimes quick, and suddenly you get the chance, and then you are in, and then you are. And I'm still thinking that he can still develop a lot of things in his game, and he's not on the limit. I don't see the limit now for Prowse. He's still able to learn things, to get in a few things better, and this is what he has to do.
And just finally, do you think the fact he's not in the squad gives him extra motivation, though, to force his way back, having had a little taste of international football?
Yeah, sure. I mean, everybody wants to be an internationalist. This is something like a highlight for every player. Play for your country where you're born in, and this is what should be the goal for everybody. And yes, sure, this is extra motivation for him.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ralph.
Thanks.
Okay, Elliot.
Hi, Ralph. Thanks for your time. I just wanted to ask you about Adam Armstrong. I mean, you mentioned the lack of goals a little bit earlier. He obviously had a good start at Everton with the goal in his debut, but has not scored since. What have you made of his contribution so far, and how important for his confidence is it that he does score again soon?
Yeah, what I must say is that, yes, he could have the chance to score against Man United. I think at home he had a big chance. But against Newcastle, he was getting the penalty where he had a good run, so it was a good assist from his side. Against City, he was a threat, also get a penalty, and then they took him away. So it was, again, a good run, what he needs to do. And I'm very happy to have him here. Yes, he still has to adapt to Premier League football. It's a different level for sure, but he has shown that he has some skills that definitely are very, very helpful for our team.
Do you think he feels any pressure to replace Danny Ings? Obviously, Danny was such a big player for Southampton.
No, not at all, I think. We think he fits perfect in our shape, how we want to play football. I'm very happy to have him here. He's a good lad. He's working very hard against the ball. He has a lot of runs, negative runs, if you want, negative sprints done in the last game against Man City for us. And this is, for me, for a striker, a very important part. And then it's normal if you have to work so much against the ball that you're sometimes lacking of the few inches of in the right position when you want to score. Or this is normal. He has to adapt to the higher intent of the games, and then he will also make his goals in the Premier League, I'm sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.